Hello and welcome to Perspectives. Once again, a quick reminder, we are live tonight, so any tweets that you make to me during the show will be included as much as I can. So request, keep them concise, keep them direct. If you have questions or comments, be respectful, and I will try to include them as much as possible. The obvious thing to do in all these talk shows would be to ask political parties and representatives what they did and what they will offer. But that is very, very typical, very common. And unfortunately, or sad to say, the politicians have also got their answers very well prepared. They know exactly what they have to say about what they did. They know exactly what they have to say about what they will do. So representatives from those two political parties who were in coalition and in government for 5 years, and two independent analysts who have great experience in diplomacy, in politics, in government, and I think they'd be the best judges and best people to confront these two representatives of People's Party and Muttahida Qawmi. My guest, AVM retired Mr. Abid Rao. Thank you very much for being here. A columnist, analyst, ex-diplomat, Mr. Zafar Halali. Thank you very much for being here. Representing Pakistan People's Party, Ms. Kausar Amir. Kausar, thank you for joining us. And from Muttahida Qawmi Movement, we have Ms. Saman Jafri. Saman, thank you very much for being here. Abid, I'd like to start with you, with permission from the ladies.
Sure.
Do you think that the past 5 years were, I'm asking you a negative question, were as bad as we, the media, we the people portrayed it to be? We projected the last 5 years as the mouth of hell. But standing today in 2013, 32 days from elections, was it really that bad?
Let me answer you in one sentence. It couldn't have been worse. Look at the life of a common citizen in Karachi, which I will say on the road, whether it is law and order, whether it is target whether it is, you take a simple thing. I mean, MQ had an excellent program of the city government, but that didn't suit their coalition partner, the People's Party particularly. So they went back on the old system, and these earlier, local body system had delivered, even with a person like Jamaat-e-Islami, Mr. Nehmatullah, then followed by MQM, Mr. Mustafa Kamal, because the system was good. And it got an opposition from People's Party because then the chief minister and so many other ministers become irrelevant, which they didn't want. So, against their wish, MQM had to surrender that. Because of that, the traffic on the road, look at the quality of buses that are plying today in the name of public transport. Why was People's Party not worried about it? I don't know.
I'd like to interrupt, unfortunately. Even if I want to agree with you, I really can't, because even before and even after, things have been better. If you're talking in reference of Karachi only, we have seen a fantastic Karachi in the old system. So I would not just blame. Sure.
But when we had changed, I can just for the sake of changing,
I can understand.
Why did we go to
I can understand the politics of it. That yes. I won't argue. Sure, there were politics involved. That's fine. But to blame just that for things that have happened, and you said that things couldn't be worse.
Yes.
That makes me cringe. Sure, things were not fantastic, but I've seen countries where things are worse.
No. I mean, just Karachi, for example, you don't need a very, you don't need, this is not a rocket science to improve the traffic system, licensing system, the other civic amenities.
But that's never been done.
That could have been done.
I think we should blame every government.
No. But now we have moved 65 years ahead. And now the problems are new, but then there's so much.
Even 50 were enough, or 54 were enough. Why target 65?
No, but does it mean we don't want to improve?
Absolutely. I do not. I'm not
saying.
All I'm saying is,
when we had already taken a path of prosperity and progress in the previous 10 years, or when we had the civil government was coming in.
Okay, that's hugely debatable.
No. Look at the roads that had come up. Look at those green buses and their bus stops that were made. Why was that program abandoned?
Zafar, do you agree with that? It's going to be worse?
First of all, I think what I would say is that Karachi Karachi was given a lot of money by Musharraf in the Musharraf days, a huge amount of money. And not, frankly, I don't think all of that has been accounted for. But anyway, therefore, there was a lot of progress. I don't know so much whether it was the system or because simply the resources were made available to that particular system.
And that was the mandate.
The mandate,
the mandate given to the council to build roads. And
yeah, the mandate is given that you should share the money equally. You shouldn't focus on one city or one province or whatever it is. But anyway, one of the reasons why Karachi developed under Musharraf was the huge amount of money that was allocated to it. I think what is disappointing and what has happened is we wanted democracy to succeed in the sense that it's not enough just that we should be able to go and give our votes freely. We wanted the people we elected to be reasonably honest, reasonably competent. We wanted them to come across as people who can match the opposition, meaning, let's say, an army government. And frankly, in these 5 years, I don't think corruption has lessened, it's increased. And as he rightly pointed out, we have had 5 years and we don't have a public transport system for Karachi. Now, we know what's the reason. The reason isn't that we can't think of a public transport system. We know that this city in particular is divided into mafias. And all the mafias, whether the water mafia, the bus mafia, or whatever mafia, all these mafias have prospered and developed. Why? I feel disappointed that democracy hasn't delivered. There's been no democracy dividend. The only dividend that I can see that we have had is that people like me go and shoot their mouths off and we are not prosecuted or persecuted. That's a big thing. Yes, and I would give Mr. Zardari credit for only one thing, that there are no political prisoners in Pakistan today. Nobody is had up for his
no vendettas.
And no vendettas either. I mean, that's saying a lot given the Pakistani psyche. So I think on the whole, as far as he rightly pointed out, the common man is concerned, delivery has been non-existent.
Before I come to our friends representing political parties, one quick question. You said that these things did not happen, democracy did not deliver, there was no dividend. These problems were there even before that, even when we had mega dictators, semi-dictators, Mr. Ziaul-Haq's time, Mr. Pervez Musharraf's time. We still didn't have a mass transit. I think it was Mr. Ziaul-Haq's time when the circular railway was shut down, or maybe it was after that. The trams, the double-decker buses, I remember all of them. And slowly and gradually, every government has depleted our resources. So why do we question this one so much? Is just a quick question.
That's what I was saying. I mean, we expected more of this one. It's not
so the expectations were high.
Much higher, much higher.
Let me give you another, statement. See the performance of the Chief Minister. Other than celebrating 4 occasions per year, what has he done? Birthday of Zulfikar Ali Bhutto in January, death anniversary in April, then birthday of Benazir Bhutto in June, and then December anniversary. Tell me what else has he done? Running free trains from here to Ladkhana and bring them back, holding big, congregations there. I mean, they haven't even developed Ladkhana or Nawab Shah.
Let me support him on this and say, Qaim Ali Shah, you'll get your pick. Qaim Ali Shah is an old man. He's a man we know, we're very familiar with. The one thing he's never stood out to be is competent, dynamic, progressive. He is a party man. He is really an old machine party man. And that's a pity because I think there's so many other choices.
So the accusations come to both of you. Please, Qasim.
Bismillahirrahmanirrahim. Actually, I was listening to both of them and I'm surprised because there are lots and lots of things which has been done in this 5-year tenure. And he has just appreciated one of them, and I think lot and lot of has been there. If you see, just not the political prisoners, there is no political victimization, yes. But then again, we have completed 5 years. This is a history which we have created, and now as we are having caretaker government and the process of fair and free elections we are going towards, I think this is the first time in history. Before that's never happened like this, in a very smooth manner, I will say. A lot of parties had registered themselves this time and have the confidence, this first time, to come up and have the guts to come and fight. Why this so? Just because of this government, because they know now how to drive and how to lead the people. And this is what our president, the Dai Saab, has given the public, the people, the confidence, to come forward, to be more democratic, to go for the progressive Pakistan. We have worked on political reconciliation. Before that, this never happened like this. Everyone was fighting among each other. They were all, enemies of each other. We have transformed that relation of enmity to civic and friendship society. This is what the Dai Saab has given us. Same goes if you see our indicators, how we measure this thing. The indicators, if you see stock exchange indicators, Karachi Stock Exchange, that has been to 4,800 points in 2008, and now if you see in this 2013, it has gone to 18,000 and above. So this is what the indicators show, that it's going towards up. If you see the surveys, like Herald and some sustainable group have been together and they have done few surveys, and People's Party was standing on the height. So these are the certain things, and this time, if you see, 47.8% has registered, the age bracket of that is between 18 and 35. They have 84 million have been registered in the Election Commission Pakistan. This has not been before. And even in 19.77, the bracket, the age bracket is what we will say is under 25. They have registered for the vote, so that the new voters are coming to Pakistan. So this is what the new change which Pakistan has given, which People's Party has given. And how can we say it's not seen? See, lot and lot of programs, if you see, they are like very vital and big and major programs which we have given to the public to eliminate poverty. Like, let's say we have gone for BISP, that is Benazir Income Support Program, which is the biggest program. Then Wasila Haq, Rozgar, Talim, Wasila Sehat. They are again very big programs.
If I may interject, I agree with you partially, but giving out money just that does not alleviate poverty.
Not giving the money.
That gives relief.
It's a support. You know, it's a supportive program to eliminate poverty. The person who is earning 8 to 10,000.
Sure.
In fact, we have increased the salaries because previously it was 3 to 4,000.
But increasing government salaries is not a solution.
Increase.
Increasing government salaries means nothing.
See,
you need to create new jobs, not give out old jobs.
Again, I will say over here, like lot and lot of the people who were on daily wages or who were temporary salary workers, we have made them permanent. This is again a very
but
big
that's
thing
again
with the People's Party.
But that's again government jobs.
Even if you see, actually the energy crisis was there in this 5 years. There were lots of turbulent. If you see, we have gone through. There was on-stage and backstage actors which were playing games against us to bringing lot of crisis and trying to.
But who were the backstage actors?
There were so many.
Every political party was working fine.
I cannot just blame one or two, and I cannot name one or two.
Okay.
There are so many. And in fact, not only that, we have gone through lot of national calamities as well. If you see, two big national calamities were there, and by IDPs, if you don't, if I mention here 25 lakh people, we have got them safely from Sindh, and we have again sent them back. Then there was terrorism in between. We have fight the terrorism because countries having war against terrorism. This is again has been fought by People's Party. So there are so many things which have been done in this 5 year tenure. So you cannot blame People's Party, because if you see, this People's Party is the only party right now in the complete Pakistan which has taken everyone together and have brought the massive and big changes for the masses. This is a masses party, what I will say.
Saman, you've been a partner in this. What would you say?
Yes. First of all, I wouldn't argue with any of my guests. Everyone has a right to express their opinions. But listening to both of my senior colleagues, I was a bit surprised. There was a tone of, giving up on democracy. Please don't do that yet. May 11th, I think, is going to tell us what we did and what we didn't. And let's wait for that. I agree with my colleague Kausar here that yes, People's Party has, we are going towards a smooth transition. So let's wait for May 11th. Other than that, coming back to Karachi, Muttahida Qawmi Movement have 7% in totality in the National Assembly. And in Karachi, we were, before Mr. Zafar Hilali was talking about the progress that happened in before 2008, and he said that a lot of money was infused, and that's why, a lot of welfare projects came in.
My apologies, I need to interrupt you unexpectedly. Let's take a short break. We'll start right with you. Stay with us. Staying with us, you're watching Perspectives. Someone you were saying.
Yes, I was saying that, as Mr. Hilali pointed out, that according to him, it was a lot of money infused in the past government by Mr. General Pervez Musharraf that basically initiated a lot of projects in Karachi. Please do not forget that there was a will too. Money was given, of course, and budget is very important. We are fighting on daily basis here in Sindh as well for limited budget, restricted budget, and we have to, we have to keep in mind when something has to be done that money is an important thing. But I would just say, please do appreciate the will of the city district government, Mustafa Kamal and MQM, that when they were given a chance, because as you see in Karachi, we do have control over our constituencies. You can see the result. Over 30 schools were, English medium schools where education was free, where uniforms were free, admissions were free, and they were English medium schools at par with the Urdu medium schools. They were initiated in MQM constituency.
But all that is great. But the complaints and the comments made by these two gentlemen also stand as valid.
Exactly. That's what I'm trying to say. That we do have control over our constituencies, but we don't have. We have the mandate, but we don't have the power to change things. We try to do as much as we could. Yet 7% of, in totality, you have a representation of 7%.
So would you blame them for the failures?
I wouldn't blame people, but then again,
you just said we have control over the constituency, but not beyond that.
Of course, but local body systems, MQM's prerogative has always been that local body system should prevail, and we fought for it. And for the past 5 years, and it gave results, as you also said, my senior colleagues also said that yes, it did give out results. So I wouldn't say we didn't do anything at all. Yes, there were things that could have been done better. Then again, we always say that give democracy a little bit more chance. So we are going to give that on 11th of May. So let's wait for 11th May, and then just let's not create a feeling of doom or hopelessness that everything has gone wrong.
One more thing
please.
I need to add here is. The Zafar Hilali Sahab just said that dictator time everything was very good. I don't think so, because 2008 I believe was the day when everyone decided in that year that they don't want dictatorship anymore and they want to go for democracy. Otherwise, if those 10 years were good, they would have voted for them.
I'll just add one thing.
I think Abid said that the 10 years, it was the
common man progress.
Dictators are better.
When you sell democracy, please sell good governance also. A common man gives you a vote and he has that confidence that you will deliver. People's Party this time, the previous tenures of Mr. Z.A. Bhutto, of Bibi Shahid, they were excellent from many angles. There was production and there was deliverance. This time, you flouted merit in so badly that you have destroyed institutions. You are responsible for destroying Pakistan Railway. You have destroyed the steel mill, PIA, and so many. By creating jobs, you should increase.
Okay, I want to go forward. Very well said. Let 11 May decide. Every politician's beautiful answer. Let the elections decide. If we win, we're the people's choice. Given the way things stand today, there's an interim setup which everyone has to agree with. Should we expect things to turn out right? An acceptable election? An election where nobody would scream foul? Where things would turn to better?
I think the general consensus is that you couldn't have a fairer man heading the election commission than Fakhruddin Ibrahim. And I know him, and I know the man means good. He means well.
And he means business too.
And he probably means business. I just hope he has the gumption to continue and not throw it up and resign. He's very well known for kicking up every job as soon as he meets the slightest resistance. This time, I hope he sticks to it and insists that he has his way, because the people are ready to support him. So that's the first point. The second point, I think, is, however these people were appointed, whoever selected them, whoever had a hand in their appointment, there is one appointment that, for example, which has become very controversial. That is the appointment of Malik Habib to Interior Minister. Not because Malik Habib was made Interior Minister, but by subsequently what he said. Now, nobody knows that the circumstances, for example, of that interview was that interview, like all sensible people, when you give an interview and you're in a sensitive position, you say, listen, I would like to hear this back, and I would like to cut out this and cut out that. What did Malik Habib do that the whole world has come, including both these parties? He gave his private preference what he thought personally, in a public interview. Wrong. I concede that. You should not say what you privately feel. For example, I have been with Benazir Bhutto in 25 countries and 25 state visits, and there were a lot of leaders who she met, for example, who she had very little time and respect for, but she never actually made them feel that. You don't say these things. But what you've got to understand when you judge a man like Malik Habib is, what is this man's professionalism? Has he, during his career, ever shown a partiality and let his private opinion override his public duty? And the answer is no. There's a 40-year man with professionalism, and as he said, in kind of, poor chap, he was so taken aback. He said, please tell me where I have acted. I've told you what I think of this leader, that leader, this leader. Indiscreet, he shouldn't have done so. But having said that, look at the man's actions. Which leader has complained that any action of his, not words, action of his has reflected his private opinion? I have hated a lot of people.
What you're saying it was a bad interview moment.
It was a bad interview moment, and the man should be encouraged. He's a very brave and good officer.
Comment on an individual person, I don't think so. It's good.
All he said was, I like him.
You don't like him whatsoever, but then again, to comment on one individual person, I don't think so.
He made it up by commenting on Zardari and praising him again. Praising him. He commented up by praising the PTI man. Whatever it is.
Okay. With that said, are we going for a good, fair, free election, acceptable to everyone, and will that?
See, our tradition is that when one loses, one is always shouting foul.
Sure. But this time
let's hope the system is matured, as all the political parties are claiming that this is a very big achievement. Okay, grant them the credit for that. But what I'm saying is, you see, the parties have to be serious about the next 5 years mandate. Whoever comes into power, first of all, should respect others' mandate. Not only 5 mandate. When you lose, then also you should respect others' mandate. Every week things are changing. Last week there was a returning officers, being silly in their questions with the candidates, And Mr. Jamshed Dasti was subjected to, I will say, humiliation beyond the call of duty. And today,
he lied about the degree. He lied.
Well, he shouldn't have been allowed by the party to begin with to contest the second election. He shouldn't have been allowed by the courts then to, be a member of National Assembly. Then he was given 3 years imprisonment. Sheikh Waqas has not yet been sentenced. So many others have not been sentenced. There is this selective application of law on somebody. I think it doesn't speak very good of the Election Commission. Somebody, Mr. Ayaz Amir, got disqualified last week. Today he stands qualified. I mean, what a mock. He stands qualified.
The court is.
You see, the court is that. I mean, what would a common man think? I mean, this is a mockery of the system. Who is qualified to become an MNA, MPA, or senator?
But with that said, are you happy with the way things are turning out for this election, or are there reservations?
Of course, the behavior of the returning officers and ECP in this regard has been, it hasn't been good. And the founding leader of MQM, Mr. Altaf Hussain, held a press con last week only on this, and he basically requested the Supreme Court and the ECP to, come to the senses and please do not ask the kind of questions that shouldn't be asked. And other than that, the delimitation issue has been there, ECP conducted delimitation without census. A lot of things have been said on that. But as you just asked me about the role of ECP,
no, I'm not about the role of ECP. I'm saying, are you happy with the way things are working out? Are we going into an election where we would come out with a result where it's just not going to get us anywhere?
No, of course not. There are certain things I'm sure that are going right in the right direction. But yes, there are a lot of issues and there are a lot of questions being raised about the role of ECP.
There's no caretaker, Faisal, anywhere in the world. Where is there a caretaker government? Give the ECP powers to do what it wants, to have fair elections, and forget about this caretaker government.
The questions which were asked, I think they were really, I will say ridiculous.
Unwarranted.
Asking,
Yes.
asking the leaders and asking the people who are just want to contest that go for read national anthem, all this thing. See, this is what I believe no good. We should ask something which
But
is
you see, I am
what
so
he is going. Once he will
disappointed
be
that
there, he will be selected and elected by the people. What he is going to do for the country, and these type of questions should be asked.
Right.
Serving judges,
Well,
civil
if-
judges.
The positive and
Many of
constructive
them.
questions, what I mean
Not
to
all,
say.
yes. But okay, then where are we going? What are you expecting? Are you expecting?
No. I mean, it's a good transition from that point of view that, when something goes wrong, there is media to check that. There are political people who are very aware of the thing. I mean, Mr. Altaf Hussain made a very good speech on that day, and he asked election commissioner, the chief election commissioner himself, to come and say how you go for namaz-e-janaza. I mean, these are not your questions to be asked from your MNAs and MPAs and those who...
Some were even asked to recite the azan, the Fajr azan.
Not only that.
The time of
Not only that, one lady was asked, what is your age? She said 35. You don't look like that. Show your face, uncover, and she was asked to turn around. I mean,
This is not the way.
have these...
Discouraging women to come and
The moral
participate in
values
general
have to be
elections.
taken care of.
I mean, you only want to see them on reserve seats. It's a good thing. But you're basically the written, and as Mr. Hilali said, those are judges. It's
And
the
yes,
honorable
there-
judiciary.
yes.
One other point I would like to make is that you must not forget that the direction this country has taken, according to a very reliable recent poll, 2 or 3, 77% of the youth of Pakistan want Sharia as the law of the land. Now, please understand this. Which Sharia? Whose Sharia? The Taliban Sharia? Which Sharia? You see, this is a very frightening
There are
to me.
38 religious parties registered with the election
What do
commission.
they mean? They're confused because you have not really given them.
Actually, I mean,
Hang on, on this one note, I'll come to you in a second. When you say they've not been given a proper direction, I accept it's the government's responsibility to give the nation a direction. But it's also the nation's responsibility. Media has a huge role in giving the nation thought. Media has huge manipulation power.
Please tell me one thing. My chap who works in my house,
Right.
he's 16, 17. He came up to me. He's taking his metric exam. He came up to me and he said, I would like you to lend me 500 rupees. So I said, why? He said, because I have to take a paper in Sindhi and I have to pay, I want to bribe the man because I have to pay 100 rupees per question. And then I get the right answer. So I turned around to him and I said, what is the level of cheating in your institute? He said, sir, everybody is cheating. Everybody is cheating. So I said, no, come on, be a bit more. He said, well, 70% of the people have outside help and all. Now, I mean, if you are going to have look, if I know it, the state knows it. I will tell you how the state knows it. 5 DIGs told me, serving DIGs told me, that in their particular district, there is one village which has 700-800 people and it has 5 schools. How can you possibly locate 5 schools in a village of, let's say, 1,000 people? And the answer was because the Vadera of that village was a very influential one, and he got all the money directed into that village. And those schools are now being used for fodder for cattle and the storage of cattle.
That's fine. Well, what's done is done. Where are we going now? What do we expect? There's a question for you. Ask Hilali Sahab. Mr. Rustam has said to ask from you, define few points to consider while voting.
Well, I mean, when you say few points to consider, first of all, read the manifestos. And then
Everybody has beautiful manifestos.
But it is the implementation where most parties lack. If you remember last year's same days, we conducted a program on cheating in these exams. We requested Mr. Qaim Ali Shah to take note of that.
You've already taken on that.
No, he has taken nothing. See what is happening now. See, I mean, the people who are not assisting
We have gone to many
cheating.
schools, and I think We have,
What is the result of that?
We have done the raid in many schools and we have caught...
Have you punished anybody?
And even the CCTV cameras have been put for that, so please don't blame... because the
I mean,
mindset has
nothing
to be
happened
changed.
last year. Nothing is...
Mindset has to be changed. You cannot, blame government for this. See,
Who else do I blame?
I'm going to be very honest. I'm going to be very honest.
Include one police officer on every single person. This is not possible for any government.
If I go by Mr. Hilali's number of 70% are cheating, I don't agree with that. I think it must be at least 75.
No, it's not that.
No, it's
not
more
that.
than 70.
No.
But I would not blame... But hear me.
I am also knowing.
But hear me.
Kids are going to the schools and...
It is 69% of you women.
All the government teachers are the teachers.
You're missing my point. My point is, I agree that a massive majority does cheat.
The mindset
but how can you police that? What level of policing
if you follow
required?
merit in your governance, cheating will stop. Listen to me, please.
Mr. Rao, I fully agree with you.
Every political party has this will.
There's no way I will not agree with you.
The change of
But it doesn't get implemented.
And this is what the party has done.
Mr. Taqir Sadegh matriculate, Chairman Ogra, he is running away and
Mr. Rao, my question.
For God's sake.
Given the way we have become, given the way things stand, if I was king of this country, I wouldn't know what to do short of really coming down with such a hard fist that it will not happen. You cannot, how brutal can you become? It is a slow process.
They have brought the system to such limits where they is the last government, but 5 years.
But it was just as bad before that.
Have you punished anybody from NICS?
Was it not just as bad before that? You've been part of the previous government as well.
There's no intention of punishing the culprit.
As she said, that it's a mindset that we need to work on, and we have to do a lot on that. But moving further, I think, as Mr. Hilali said, and then Shabit also said, that let's see the manifestos and let's see the implementation of them, and let's see what we are promising in next manifestos. So,
but he has a very good point. Manifestos are beautiful documents. And incidentally, the people who write them, some of them sometimes visit Pakistan irregularly. And some of them have nothing to do with the life in Pakistan. They live in the world of their own. Having said that, let me say that you have to be a good manager of people. Now, the point she raised is, don't blame government always. These 5 DIGs, they went through a process of selection. They've got to a very senior rank. I asked them, why don't you report this? If you know something is happening which is manifestly wrong, a grade 14 teacher pays grade 14 pays 14 lakhs, or grade 7 or whatever it is, to come into government, pays 14 lakhs. I asked one of them, I said, you pay 14 lakhs, how can you ever pay that back on a salary of 14,000 a month, for example? And he turned around and said, well, first I don't go to school, then I have a second job, then I use all the facilities that government offers, namely free house, medical for the family, and the family,
and finally the pension,
and then the pension expense. He says over a period of time it's obviously profitable because I paid 14 lakhs. Now, if I know that, everybody knows that. Why don't you do something?
The person who takes that 14 lakhs also knows that.
But if such a large majority of the nation is doing this, please tell me, if you were the king of this country, what would you do to solve this problem short of starting really brutal action? Don't answer them. Don't answer them. And I request you not to answer that question because I won't be able to hear it. Short of that, if a dictator couldn't solve it, how can a democratically elected government, which is beholden...
How do Faisal crime is prevented by governments?
Is it only
in your neighboring country, in Dubai, even if you cross the traffic light at 2 o'clock...
No, you can't, no.
What do you compare? You compare it with India.
No,
India,
it's horrible.
No, India, law and order...
India is horrible.
The civic sense of the traffic, for example...
Civic sense is horrible in India.
We may not... No. I mean, in big cities, things are different. And I'm talking about Karachi, the face of Pakistan.
I mean, India is a good comparison, and they are horrible.
Don't take a bad comparison.
Don't take a bad comparison.
Don't take a bad comparison.
It's not a comparison. How can you compare us with the better of Singapore? Singapore's 5 million people.
What I think Abid wants to say is that if the leadership is not corrupt, I think you will find a lot of people follow the leader. And I'm sorry to say, if it's not enough not to be corrupt, if the leadership is dissolute, if it's weak, if it doesn't take action against these people, and I can't believe it.
Let me repeat that saying that people will do what the king likes. If king likes corruption, the whole nation will become corrupt.
Exactly.
If he likes efficiency, whole nation will become efficient.
I think Pakistan is
No,
more than that.
this is a global thing. It's not mine.
Yeah, but global things don't necessarily apply to us.
One leader, all the parties are have the political reconciliation.
The Prime Minister
and
yours.
mostly all the parties have one leader, and they're all on one table to solve the issues of Pakistan. So you are not in government because you always boycotted, the PTI always boycotted before. But then again, if you see all the other parties are on table to discuss all lot of issues of Pakistan. And even today, if you see, like...
then none of you should come back to power. If all of you agreed not to have governance in this country.
This is the first time
is that what you're suggesting?
This is the first time in history the leaders and plus the opposition have been together on one page to appoint so many people. So everything has been changed with both the... You cannot just blame the government.
Okay,
we have to change the mindset. We cannot do the...
Who will change? How will you change?
Someone, go ahead.
You are going to change. You are saying I'm PTI, you don't go for the...
He is not. He has nothing. He is not
That's what
PTI.
you said, right?
No, that's his personal preference, maybe.
Then again,
he does not represent PTI in the show, and he has no right to speak on that.
He has the soft feeling for PTI. Even PTI have...
I want somebody who can implement law here. Somebody who can improve governance.
We all want that.
But you don't do it. That is the problem.
Why not? We also want to go on that 11th May. Let the people decide who has done the better for Pakistan.
I think behind every act you need to have a will. And in 18th Amendment, I think the political parties showed the will. So we can't say that when they are together, they can't implement something. They can't come up with solutions. 18th Amendment was a good enough answer to that.
How was it good? I think it's parcels of Pakistan to each party. You have 4 ethnic, you might well have 4 or 5 ethnic parties, and that's it.
Sir, I
The
think
Sindhis will
work onto the same forum. At least the political parties will all at par. The opposition was part of it. The government was part of it. We were just talking about the will, and 18th Amendment was a solution which was designed by everyone. I was talking about that. Coming to, again, I would just say that what is done is done. Let's focus on the future. Manifestos, as Mr. Abid was also saying, and as Mr. Hilali said, that people who are not living here, they design manifestos. At least I can't take that credit. My party can't take that credit. But let's see what we promised in 2008. In 2008, education for all. I will just speak for MKM right now. Please let me finish, please. I've been listening to everyone very patiently. Thank you. So, education for all. 25A was inserted in Constitution, which is education for all.
Sure.
So, you need to see that, yes, there are things that were not as good, as great as they should have been, but let's move forward. And
with respect, adding in the Constitution, education for all means nothing.
It means nothing.
Education, the Constitution, page 1, which has been there for the longest time with 0 amendments, has never been implemented.
the implementation comes afterwards. First, you need to
but
show the
page 1 of the
that.
Constitution has never been implemented, where I have the right to exist and I have the right to do this. I don't even have the right to use the internet.
I'm saying that
I don't
we
have
need
the
to
right
work on
to
the
do
mindset.
anything in this country.
We need to work on the mindset as well.
I have about 6 minutes. I have 6 minutes and I want to go to another direction quickly and I want your comments on it. What this government has done, and I have I've commented on other countries, that every country seems to be in the right direction, that they'll eventually get there. Pakistan hasn't. Pakistan has always moved backwards. This time, and I have been I've been a huge critic of the last government, massive critic. But now, hindsight, I sit here today and go, hang on. We did complete the 5-year cycle. We are sitting on state television and having this conversation without any reprimand. We are going for an election. If they have failed so miserably, it should be a clean sweep. They should be gone. Okay. The fact that we are now actually going through democratic cycles, maybe 5 years is good hope. So that was my first question. If I look back, was it really such a great loss because the government before that, now again hindsight, everybody loved them then, but now hindsight, that was a great loss too. So please, I'm going to take all of the comments.
You want to go?
You see,
About 4 minutes, short comments.
Fine, give them all the credit, 100% in, say, question number 1.
Thank you for that.
Sure, I mean, we all acknowledge that.
Thank you for that.
But remaining 9, they score 0.
Yes,
I mean,
but
where is the
not,
governance?
but there's at least
Where is
hope.
merit? Where is
But
implementation
that's
of
done.
justice?
But that is done.
So, I mean,
Today there is
next
hope.
elections, I'm going to see their previous performance. A common man should see.
Right.
Common man in Karachi,
voters should see.
did he get enough time to work? These strikes called by so many parties, Mr. Qaim Ali Shah was least pushed in, ensuring somebody who could open his shop, protecting him. Then education, water, there were additional these hydrants illegally run by these political parties. All parties here sitting, they have illegal hydrants. They are stealing water from so many agencies.
Good comment.
I think that it's a mistake to think that 5 years of this government has been completed because of the skill of anybody. 5 years of this government have been completed only because the traditional opposition, meaning the armed forces, and the other opposition, the legal opposition, they didn't combine, and they didn't think it. The forces didn't think that they could do it because after Musharraf, 10 years of that, it was just the wrong time for them to do it. And as for the legal opposition, which was basically Nawaz Sharif and all that, they're biding their time, and they had the richest. I mean, the federal government is not as rich as the government of the
Fine, but
Punjab.
whoever takes credit, I'm not giving them credit.
So it's just that
What I'm saying is
combined.
that the cycle has actually been beneficial.
And you were talking about state TV. Why have a Ministry of Information? In which democratic country do you have a Ministry of Information?
We'll question the next government on that. Question, comment.
I think the People's Party has taken a lot of steps to eliminate poverty. And plus, even if we will get the chance, inshallah, agli bari firzardari, that's what we say. Or inshallah, if we will be getting the chance for the next time, definitely we will make sure whatever the big programs which we have already started, we are going to pursue with that. And we will see to it that people should, and Pakistan should more, especially...
Closing comments with just one point in mind. Near the end, you told them a complete failure. You called them a complete failure and walked out.
And I wasn't here for a blame game. I was
No, I'm saying, on your closing comment, bear that in mind, that near the end, you called them complete failures and walked out of government. Two days before.
Coming back to my...
In the near end.
No.
Just last week.
No, not at all.
Last week.
Coming back to my opening comment here, being the 7% of the total National Assembly, I think we did what we could do. And again, I won't give up hope on Pakistan, and I won't give up hope on democracy. Let democracy prevail, and let's see on 11th May what people come up with.
Thank you very much, all of you. People have been critical of Pakistan's democracy because the vote bank, people assume, is not smart enough. But you know what? It's the majority. That's the vote bank. Let the majority vote. Let them choose who they want to be governed by. That's the beauty of democracy. Until next time, good night.